You are fighting to be alone. Probably not in the way that you think, but ultimately you are. What I mean by this is every day you wake up and you make a handful of decisions throughout the day that are either taking you away from being the family man that you want to be, the friendship guy that you want to be, and putting you closer to just being alone forever and ever. And it's not as big of a deal as some people make it seem. The small things are ultimately what make up to be the bigger things. Choosing to scroll on your phone for hours on end is a small action, but over a year is a large amount of time and wasted commitment to a thing that is providing you nothing but entertainment. They've proven they've proven that social media is rigged like gambling. Why would you want to put something in front of you in every single day that is literally like gambling? You're literally frying your brain and you're making yourself more addicted every single time that you interact and use it. Like, why do that? Why do that? If you're going to use it, you need to have very, very strict rules. And I'm not expecting you to turn around tomorrow and be the perfect person and not go on social media or scroll. Of course not. That would be crazy, especially if you built that habit over years. I don't expect you to do that. But what you should be doing is setting very strict boundaries. And what I mean by that is you should be building an algorithm. You should be creating an algorithm that is only giving you what you want. If you come across anything, you need to be very quick and very good at getting past that as soon as possible. So the algorithm doesn't then produce more of that content or put more of that content in front of you. This is difficult to do because as our monkey brain takes over, one day we're tired and we're just scrolling because why not? We slip up on that habit and then other things get brought into our feed, which ultimately we do want to see, right? We want to see some entertainment, we want to see whatever, but we know those things aren't good for us in the long term. In a short amount, in small stints, little parts of entertainment, completely fine. I had a rule for a while, which I do need to get back to, and I'm gonna be transparent, I've not been perfect here, but I had a rule that I wasn't allowed to look at any entertainment content if I wasn't doing it with another person. So it became a social activity. If that was with friends, family, whatever, I had to be with another person, otherwise I couldn't look at anything. And ultimately, what it did, it made it so much more enjoyable. And it made me want to hang out with people more because even if I wanted initially to spend that time because I wanted to watch something or be entertained, it turned into far more than that. Because you're not just going to meet up with someone and just watch YouTube shorts for 6 hours. Maybe you do. I don't know. I think that's weird. I wouldn't do that. So there's other time in between where you are socializing, you're building up your muscle memory of your social skills and getting good at talking again and interacting with people. Because when you isolate yourself for a long period of time, conversations become so hard. You become socially retarded. And I mean that as sincerely as possible, but you genuinely do, because I've been there. I've been there talking to people and I'm staring them right in the face and I don't know what to say. I know I should be saying something. It feels like a normal time to say something, but nothing is coming to my brain because my brain was so fried from scrolling on my phone all day and not making a conscious effort of going and talking to people. So when it came to the times when I did have to interact with people, I was forced to interact with people, whether that be at an appointment or in a line where someone starts a conversation with you or you start one with them without realizing it's going to continue. And then suddenly you're locked in this conversation, but you don't know what to say, and they end up just carrying the conversation for you. And you feel like a bitch. You feel like my brain's not working. And I literally feel like less of a human being because I can't do what humans have done for hundreds, if not thousands of years in having conversation with people. Crazy, crazy. But anyway, how can you get better at this? The first thing is be very intentional with your social media use, be very intentional with your entertainment use. I do not think that setting boundaries that are going to ultimately allow you to then slip back. I don't want it to be so difficult that you fall back into doing everything. It needs to be so easy that you feel like I can maintain this for life. And as you get used to that and that becomes your baseline, you then make it slightly harder to maintain or to hold up to. When that happens, you can then start focusing on other things. You can then start forcing yourself to get outside, join clubs. I think sports clubs are probably the best things that you can do for social interaction because you're forced to interact with people. The closer you are when you're doing the sporting activity, the better. For example, I did jujitsu for a little bit. Great thing to start conversations with because you're basically hugging and cuddling the entire time. So you're kind of like in each other's face. But saying that, people that do jujitsu, they're not the most social people, but it doesn't matter. You can still get some practice in and talk to them and ultimately build some friendships because even if they're not, and that's a very general statement. I'm saying there were some lovely people I do jiu-jitsu with, but for the most part, they are isolated people because it's a solo sport. If you're going to do a solo sport, you're going to have more isolated people. If you're going to do a team sport, you know you're going to be with more social people because ultimately that's what they want to do. So reduce screen time on social media apps, entertainment. Go and get outside and do something. Join a club. Like there should be clubs around you anywhere. Unless you're in the middle of nowhere and there's nothing going on there, you'll find clubs. There's a fly behind me. It's middle of summer. It's boiling. They are active. I hope this has helped. I really do. I wasn't expecting to film this video today, but hopefully it gave you some value. Have a good one.